You know when you're coding in Java and you feel like you're typing the same variable name over and over and over again? Well, today we're going to fix that. We're diving into a really simple but powerful trick that's going to make your code shorter, way cleaner, and just more efficient. Let's get right into it. Okay, just look at these two lines of code. Imagine you're making a game and you have to update the score all the time. Which one of these would you rather be typing 100 times? Yeah, the one on the right, for sure. It's shorter, it's cleaner, and here's the best part. They both do the exact same thing. This right here is the beauty of what we're talking about today. Think of these operators as the coding version of texting BRB instead of typing out be right back. It's just faster, it's cleaner, and anybody who knows the language gets it instantly. That's exactly what we're aiming for with our code. So what's the official name for these little shortcuts? They're called compound assignment operators. And the core idea is really simple. You're basically telling the computer, hey, take this variable, do some math on it using its own current value, and then immediately save that new result right back into the same spot. It's a calculation and an assignment all wrapped up in one tidy package. And it's not just about adding stuff. Oh no. There's a whole family of these operators, and each one is a fantastic new tool to add to your coding toolkit. Here's the whole crew. You've got plus equals for addition, minus equals for subtraction, and you can see the pattern, right? It's the same for multiplication and division. We even have modulo equals, which is super handy for finding the remainder. The pattern is the key. Whatever math symbol you see before the equals sign, that's the operation that's going to happen. Okay, theory is great, but seeing this stuff in action is way better. So let's follow the journey of a single variable, we'll call it score, and watch how it changes step by step. This is an absolutely crucial skill, by the way, especially if you're prepping for any kind of coding exam. All right, let's trace this together. We start with score at a nice, clean 0. First, we hit it with a plus equals 10, so score is now 10, simple enough. Then we multiply by 2, bringing score up 20. Next, we subtract 5, taking us down to 15. And finally, the tricky one, modulo equals 4. Remember, this just gives us the remainder. So 15 divided by 4 is 3, with a remainder of 3. So the final value of score is 3. See? That's how you trace it. Now, these operators are pretty easy to use, but there are a few classic traps, a few gotchas, that can trip up anyone. So let's go over some pro tips to help you dodge these common bugs before they even happen. First up, this is probably the most common mistake you'll see. Take a really close look at these two lines. What's the difference? I mean, they look almost identical, but that tiny, tiny change in the syntax, it has a huge impact on what your code actually does. And here's why that little typo is so dangerous. X equals plus 5 is our friend. It adds 5 to whatever the current value of x is. But x equals plus 5, the compiler reads that as x equals plus 5. It's not adding anything. It's completely wiping out the old value of x and assigning it the value of positive 5. So the key takeaway, the golden rule here is operator first, then the equal sign, always. Okay, let's look at something a little more advanced. We've got an integer, x, and we're trying to add a double, a number with a decimal point to it. Now, usually Java gets pretty upset when you try to mix types like this without being explicit. So what do you think? Is this code going to work, or is it going to blow up? And the answer, which might actually surprise you, is yes, it works perfectly. This is like a hidden superpower of compound assignment operators. They perform what's called an implicit cast. Java does the math, gets 9.5, and then automatically converts it back to an integer by just chopping off the decimal. So x ends up as 9. If you tried this the long way, x equals x plus 4.5, you'd get a compiler error, no question. All right, here are a few more rapid-fire tips. You absolutely cannot use these operators on uninitialized variables. You have to give them a starting value first. Also, remember the good old x++? That's really just a super condensed way of writing x plus equals 1. And finally, always be mindful of integer division. In the world of integer math, 7 divided by 2 is 3. The 0.5 just vanishes. So now that you've got the concepts down, let's put it all into practice. We'll look at how to tackle the kinds of tricky questions you might see on something like the AP Computer Science exam. Okay, if you remember one thing for an exam, let it be this: trace the code. Seriously, don't try to do it all in your head. Get a piece of scratch paper, write down the variables, and track their values line by line as you go through the code. Keep a sharp eye out for integer division, and remember that x++ is a very common shorthand, especially when you're dealing with loops. All right, pop quiz time. Take a look at this code snippet. I want you to actually pause this explainer, grab that scratch paper, and trace the values of a and b all the way to the end. What's the final output going to be? Go ahead, hit pause now. So, did you get 9 and 12? Let's do a super quick trace. A starts at 5, B starts at 2. First, A multiplied by B. That's 5 times 2, so A becomes 10. Next line, B plus equals A. That's B plus the new value of A, so 2 plus 10, B is now 12. And finally, A decrements. Just decrements A by 1, taking it from 10 down to 9. The final output, 9 and 12. And there you have it. You've just mastered a fundamental tool for writing more concise, more professional Java code. This naturally leads to a much bigger question, doesn't it? Now that you see the value of shortcuts like these, where else in your coding can you find ways to work smarter, not harder? Something to think about. Thanks for watching.